Netflix hit show The Last Kingdom was initially renewed for its 5th season back in July of 2020. However, it was also announced that it would sadly be the last season. But why is this? What does this mean for its last season? And will we ever see more of these characters again in another adaptation? Keep watching to find out. Based on Bernard Cornwell's novels The Saxon Stories, The Last Kingdom follows the warrior Uhtred of Bevenberg in a story about the birth of the Great England. The first 2 seasons of the series were released on BBC from 2015 to 2017, but the following 3 seasons were exclusively released on the streaming service Netflix. Each season of the historic series follows the storylines from 2 books, and there are still more that have yet to be adapted, which is why so many fans were surprised to find that Netflix canceled the show. Hopes had been high that the series could adapt every entry in Cornwell's series, and a devoted following were eager to continue watching. But with Netflix canceling the show without reason earlier this year, it seems those fans won't be watching for much longer. However, given the fact that Netflix is known for canceling popular shows after a few seasons, the decision may not have been a big surprise. In fact, in 2021 alone, Netflix has canceled multiple original productions. In the past, several other critically acclaimed series were cut short, presumably because of low viewing numbers, though Netflix rarely ever confirms or denies such things. Interestingly though, The Last Kingdom's cancellation shocked loyal fans and prompted some to petition for a series continuation. The Last Kingdom's cancellation is surprising because of its word-of-mouth popularity amongst Netflix viewers and the fact that Cornwell's source material consists of 13 novels. In theory, The Last Kingdom should have extended to season 6 or even season 7. Netflix may feel like season 5 will provide closure for fans, and it's possible that the logistics of future productions didn't make financial sense for the streaming service. Nonetheless, Netflix's cancellation of The Last Kingdom doesn't necessarily mean that the entire novel storyline won't be adapted, as a series conclusion could possibly set up a movie release, which would likely cover the last 3 of Cornwell's books, War of the Wolf, Sword of Kings, and Warlord. As a matter of fact, the producer's plans may involve an epic 5th season, a break for the main cast, which has been filming in Hungary since 2014, or even a possible Netflix movie that would give a proper ending to Uhtred's character arc. No matter the ending or future plans, fans should start to get excited for the upcoming release of the final season. Production was rumored to have wrapped up in June of 2021, which means the date for fans to be reunited with the beloved Uhtred and all the other characters is getting closer and closer with every passing day. However, going back to the decision to cut The Last Kingdom short, some may be surprised to find that this decision was made a long time ago, at least according to star Alexander Dreymon. The show's last season will follow books 9 and 10 of the Cornwell series, which leaves 3 novels left untold, which is why there's so much confusion as to why the show wasn't renewed for further seasons. However, Dreymon, Uhtred himself, explained that this was the plan all along. When we started shooting the show, there were 10 books that Bernard Cornwell had written, and we had structured the show in a way that season 5 was always going to be the last season, the actor stated. When The Last Kingdom was initially conceived, there were only 10 books out. War of the Wolf, Sword of Kings, and Warlord were all published later. The show always planned to adapt 2 books a season, making the decision to end the series at 5 seasons apparently less than shocking for the cast and crew. However, for a good while now, we've been in talks about maybe a little extension because it felt like it couldn't quite yet be the end. Dreymon continued. The conclusion will come with a 2-hour movie called 7 Kings Must Die, which is great news for fans of The Last Kingdom, as the film is expected to contain material from the final 3 books that we won't be able to see in the series. Though with the show ending, Dreymon expressed his appreciation and love for everything he's gotten to do, saying it's been a privilege to tell Uhtred's story for 5 seasons. I'm so grateful to our fans. They have been immediately loyal to The Last Kingdom, and thanks to their support, the team is getting together for another round. Nevertheless, it seems that other members of the show also believe there's more of the series that needs to be told. In fact, producer Nigel Marchand agreed with Dreymon, making the statement, although season 5 fully concludes the series, there was always one more story that we wanted to tell. With the support of Netflix and continued appetite from the fans, we simply couldn't resist one last journey with Uhtred. And while it's sad that news Last Kingdom is coming to an end, it's been confirmed that Alexander Dreymon will be returning for 7 Kings Must Die as Uhtred, and it's expected that other fan favorites from the series will also be back. Filming is scheduled to get underway in Budapest, Hungary in 2020. 2022. With that said, and with the Last Kingdom coming to an end, what can we expect to see in Season 5? Well, for one, Uhtred will be torn between loyalty and love. In the 4th season, we finally got to see Uhtred interact with his children more than we have in any other previous seasons. Both his children, Uhtred the Young and Stiora, have inherited traits from their father such as his stubbornness and the desire to follow their own path. To negotiate peace between the Danes and the Saxons, Stiora was more than happy to be used as the bargaining chip and chose to join Sigtryggr and go to Euphoric. On the other hand, her brother, Uhtred the Young, decided to continue his path with the church and will continue his studies. Now that East Anglia is under the control of Wessex and Mercia, Northumbria is the last kingdom to be held by the Danes. Despite the truce, it won't last, as Edward and Aethelflaed wish to fulfill their father's ambition of a unified England. Euphoric is in Dane territory, which means if Mercia and Wessex happen to go into conflict, Stiora will be in danger. So what will Uhtred decide? Will he choose loyalty by siding with his daughter, Stiora, and the Danes, or will he fight for the woman he loves, Aethelflaed? Another big question for Season 5 is whether Uhtred will attempt to retake Bevenberg once again, which fate seems to be getting in the way of. Witgard, Uhtred's cousin, ended up killing not only Father Bjeka, but his own father as well during Uhtred's attack, which ultimately led to him becoming the Lord of Bevenberg. However, regardless of how Uhtred felt after his failed attempt at securing the fort, he'll likely want revenge upon his cousin for the death of Father Bjeka. However, Witgard also made it clear that he won't allow anyone who may lay claim to Bevenberg to be left alive, which means he may go after Uhtred's family to draw him out into the open. Like many predicted for its 4th season, many are also expecting to see another time skip for The Last Kingdom Season 5. While there most likely won't be a huge change to the character's appearance, the biggest change fans can expect to see is between King Edward's sons, Aethelstan and Elfwerd, who will need new actors to reflect their growth. Speaking of, it looks like there may be a death in the upcoming season. The scheming and ambitious Ealdorman, Aethelhelm the Elder, wishes to see his grandson, the second-born son of King Edward, Elfwerd, to take the crown following his father's death. Unfortunately for Aethelhelm, King Edward's mother, Aelswith, plots to see her eldest grandson, Aethelstan, on the throne instead. Sadly, it doesn't look like that will happen, as Aelswith doesn't seem to have much longer to live after she was poisoned by Aethelhelm during the siege of Winchester. And even if she were to somehow make a recovery, it's likely that Aethelhelm will find a way to dispose of his political opponent and ensure that Aethelstan doesn't have a strong ally in court when Edward eventually dies. If Aethelhelm's schemes are discovered, it could have disastrous repercussions for him and his family. Lastly, for Season 5, it looks like there may be some new threats from the north and east. Though considering that the Danes have lost a good amount of territory to the Saxons, it wouldn't be too surprising to see more Danes arrive from abroad to try and reclaim lost land. And with the vengeful and prideful Breda, she's likely to surface again, and maybe with another army behind her. There's always the matter of Heiston surviving the siege of Winchester, and the slippery snake is bound to find his way into the inner circle of some Danish lord. As for the north, the Scots have begun turning their attention southward, so the Danes may be willing to give up land in the north if it means reclaiming control of East Anglia and potentially conquering Mercia and Wessex once and for all. With that said, that's gonna wrap up this video. What are your thoughts on The Last Kingdom's 5th season? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.